Pilot uplink.
So here it is, the map-by-map guide to mining your hardpoints. I need to stress here that this is a guide intended for people who prefer to stay on defense, despite Respawn's efforts to incentivize offense in Hardpoint. Plenty of players might find this playstyle cheap or lame, but because it's so effective and caters to a certain type of player, I'm releasing it as is. There are plenty of equally effective alternatives, but this is for the valiant players who stand their ground. For the record, I believe arc mines are one of the strongest tools in your kit for Hardpoint. And because of their ambush nature, I feel it could be fair to consider a small change in the underused ability Active Radar Pulse, which could allow players to see explosives briefly, or Respawn could boost the visibility of arc mines a bit. Let me know your thoughts on that. With that in mind, let's begin. I've sorted the maps into two groups, maps that worked well for this strategy and maps that don't. Let's start with the good ones. Overlook is a wonderful, amazing opportunity to use mines. A is okay to mine, but you have some line of sight issues when defending due to upper and lower levels, and satchels can be a big problem. C is a Titan capture point, meaning that a Titan can capture the point even when you're trying to contest on foot, so that's out. But B is glorious. Two mines form an instant kill trap on the box for enemies dropping down, and place one mine at the other side to alert you for people sneaking in that way.
Nice moves.
You may decide to switch it up depending on what side the enemy team prefers to enter the point from. If you drop a Titan and drive it to the far side of the hangar, you'll have your own crossfire for them to contend with, and an easy ordnance reload location that almost never sees Titan combat the whole game. But seriously, this box. Relic has a few really good opportunities to use this strategy. B is a Titan capture point, and is awful to try and hold for the entire match. Ignore it. C isn't too bad. People like to hide in the bathroom, so by placing one mine near there and another near an entrance, you'll get a kill just from them running to a safe place to capture. You could try an instant kill trap at the stairwell if you feel more comfortable holding up in the bathroom or on the roof. A is by far my favorite. I place a mine or two at the top of the staircase, and here's why. I am almost never off the roof. If the point is getting capped, I drop down through the hole in the ceiling, wall hang, and clear the room and recap. The only spot not in my line of sight from this angle is the upper floor, so I mine it. You should almost never have to touch the ground. Stay up top cloaked and pick off pilots running toward the point, and drop down through the hole when you need to. Keep your Titan tucked away somewhere nearby to replenish ordnance and tell you when a pilot is nearby. Stay elevated and pick off runners to preserve your mines.
Double the fun.
Lagoon is one of the easiest to defend. A is a no-no. Too many walls dividing the capture point and too many ways in. C is a Titan capture point, though it is fun to drop down on people from the ceiling alcove. Which leaves B, and good thing too, because this is one of the easiest points to defend in the game. You have a couple options here, staying inside or outside. I like to put my instant kill mines right inside the front doorway, and one on either of the side doors. If you stay inside, you can defend the unmined doorway and still be protected by the mines at the other two entrances. Just watch for grenade markers. If you, like me, choose to go outside, you can pick off people running toward the point and cover the front stairwell extremely well. If the point is getting capped, you will know immediately which entrance they came through because your mines didn't go off, so that area should be the first place you look. Unfortunately, your Titan can't drop very close by, so it's a mild risk to run out to your Titan in the middle. I have never seen anyone check behind them as they run up this stairwell, so if you position yourself with this line of sight, you'll get tons of easy kills. Just be careful when entering the hardpoint to kill someone inside. Try to get a glimpse of them before you go charging in. Fracture is another one of those maps that sort of forces you to distribute mines as alerts rather than go for the bottleneck instant kills. I like A because B gets bombarded all game, and C is a Titan capture point. At A, you can opt to lay down an instant kill trap near one of the entrances, but there are a few too many for my liking, so I tend to just throw a few outside capture range and watch through this window or up on the roof for enemies running inside. Note that I use one on each floor sometimes to really give me maximum coverage and disrupt their vision as they run into the hardpoint.
You're unstoppable.
Dropping your Titan right by this window gives you an easy ordnance replenish and a means to patrol the outside while your mines alert you to someone sneaking in.
We're losing Bravo. Rock and rolling.
Demeter. A has too many entrances to properly defend. B obviously suffers the same problem and is more heavily trafficked, and it's a Titan capture point. Which leaves us with C. Luckily, it's simple to set up your alert mines in a way that gives us good approach awareness. 2 mines on the stairwell by the door for the instant kill, and 1 up on top. I almost never put a mine in the middle of the room. People typically toss grenades or satchels into the bottom floor, so by keeping your 2 mines off to the side and 1 mine up top, you not only know when someone's going to drop down, but you'll still have mines if someone does lob an arc grenade onto the hardpoint. I like to keep my Titan around back where it can tell me if someone's coming from the unguarded back door, and also for a quick ordnance reload. You'll be replacing mines often. Angel City I've covered before, so I'll make this brief. C is a Titan capture point, so that's out. B has too many avenues of approach, and it is by far the most popular point that people flock toward. A is perfect. It has a primary bottleneck at the top of the stairs, and putting your extra mine in the capture room lets you know when someone's attempting to capture. It's pretty safe to stay in your Titan as often as you can for this map, because you can clear out enemies very efficiently and take on other Titans who drop nearby. Colony I feel you could mine depending on where you're most comfortable, but for me that's at A. B is in the middle of the map and is hard to maintain a good mining setup. C can be really defensible, especially if you get your mines down and watch from the building behind it, but A allows you to patrol in your Titan and maintain your mines very easily. In fact, the mines are used less as an instant kill mechanism and more as an alert when you're in your Titan, because 1 cluster missile can clear the room of enemies. Still, I put a mine or 2 on the main wall and 1 on the doorway opposite, which does the trick nicely and lets you roam around the area. Smugglers Cove is a great map for this. B is a Titan capture point. Avoid. A is the easiest to defend. Place an instant trap at this bottleneck at the top of the stairs, and 1 sort of near the middle to cover the other doorway, and you can run around the bottom or defend from across the bridge. Or even just sit in a Titan and wait for someone to run right into those mines. You'll generally have a high volume of visitors, so make sure you're consistently replenishing and remining while keeping an eye out during those times your mines are expended. It's almost impossible for them to capture it without alerting you with an explosion if you watch from the unmined window area. C is straightforward. Place an instant trap at the bottleneck at the top of the stairs, and cover the other end by yourself. If the point is getting capped without a mine being triggered, they're in the far room. Just charge in and gun them down. Try to drop a Titan on the side you're guarding for easy ordnance replenish. Rise. B, though easy to mine its entrances, is a Titan capture point and the room gets swept pretty regularly, so I don't hole up there much. A is extremely small, and therefore mines inside can be cleared really easily by an arc grenade, so I like to place my mines just outside the upper door, where people commonly jump through. And my other mines I generally try to throw outside one of the lower entrances. Sometimes I find it works to just use 1 at a time outside the upper door to disrupt their vision, and then kill them when they run inside for safety. This conserves mines, which is especially helpful for the beginning of a match when you don't have a Titan to replenish your ordnance. By the way, staying outside A and shooting in is a much safer way to defend the point, and you can always recap once you kill the enemy's offense. The inside of A is a death trap because it's so easy to clear it from the outside. C is also okay to mine. I use my instant kill mines on the far door because people generally try to clear the central entrance. Then I put my extra mine outside the back door and watch through the window for enemies approaching from the front. You may opt for a mid-range weapon as opposed to the shotgun for this area, since the room is long and narrow. As always, put your Titan on guard around the back of the area you're defending. If placed in the right spot, it'll shoot through the wall at enemies. Outpost is moderately difficult to hold for the entirety of the game. A is enormous and a Titan capture point, and is overall an awful point to try to keep alone anyway, so we'll ignore that. B is also on the larger end and doesn't have enough bottlenecks to really make mining feasible. C still has a few too many entrances, but is the far easier point to defend alone on this map. You'll want to hang out by the staircase side, which gives you a better view of the whole area. Place your instant kill mines off to the side here, because just about everyone hugs the boxes for cover before running in for the capture or jumping to the hallway alcove. Don't place them in the middle of the room because they'll be triggered by grunts. Put your remaining mine either at the top doorway or near the bottom of the staircase. Your preference. Remember, the goal of that one mine is to offer an alert that someone is approaching from that direction rather than to outright kill them. I leave my Titan outside on the loading dock to farm grunts when it gets bored. Airbase offers a neat stronghold to dominate at sea. A is a Titan capture point and is really heavily trafficked. B gets grenaded regularly and people can get there so quickly you rarely have time to replenish your ordnance and remine the point. C, on the other hand, really lets you dig in and stay there. I like to spend most of my time in one of the side wings with an instant trap in the other, and a mine at the top of the stairs in a spot the enemy can't see. This setup grants you great vision on the point, with the only entry not visible being the front room, but you'll see immediately if the point starts capping. Drop a Titan on the far end away from the ramp from B so it gets spotted less easily, and you don't need to expose yourself to much danger to reach it. Boneyard has a point decent for mining, though it's not the easiest point to lock down. C is a Titan capture point, which is a shame because it's the most defensible due to the high vantage points that favor defenders. B used to be really easy to defend, but I found that most people stim and grenade or satchel the corners of the room fairly regularly now. A has a few bottlenecks to take advantage of. You can lay an instant kill trap here, which covers the high and low entry points on this side, and the remaining mine can be used at the mouth of the cave or the far door. It's important to stay elevated in this room, because the first place people look are the corners at ground level, and the time it takes for them to correct their aim can make all the difference. Maps that don't. Corporate is one of my least favorite to employ the arc mine strategy simply because it's hard to really cover all your entrances on any of the locations. A gives me a hell of a time patrolling both ends of the tunnel. B is a Titan capture point. C has an awkward room setup with the high ground entrances and low ground entry points, and it's difficult to know where to distribute your mines efficiently on a game-by-game basis. If you do take a liking to C, I typically throw some at the far end and one on the balcony where the zipline leads to, and patrol the roof until the mines get triggered. For the heavy campers out there, you can sit on this rail and watch the rest of the room, but you sacrifice the ability to kill people before they enter the hardpoint. You will do a lot of recapping as you won't be in contest range. Again, this map is a little harder to lock down a point alone. Nexus is just awful to try to mine on. C is a Titan capture point and has 2 floors to patrol. A is also a Titan capture point. B I don't like much either, but we'll make do. I disperse my mines at what entrances I can up top, and if one goes off, I'll know which direction they're coming from. If the point is getting capped, they're likely on the bottom floor and you have the high ground. I also like to stay on the roof and pick off people as they enter the building. From the roof, you can also hear when someone is hacking the turret behind you. Not my favorite map, and I think other strategies might serve you better than trying to hold any one point alone. Training Grounds doesn't much support this strategy due to its open nature. B is a big nope. Titan capture point and wide open. A is hard to defend properly against enemies approaching from different sides, and straying outside the walls makes you a target for roaming Titans. I'm not a big fan, but it'll do in a pinch. C I think is the easiest as long as you can comfortably mine it and observe from a distance. Staying in the point is suicide because it's so often grenaded and satcheled. Mine spots can include 2 at the stairs and 1 on the roof, but expect your mines to be cleaned out frequently.
Just lost Hardpoint Bravo. Get over there and patch me in. Rock and roll.